Well, good day, everybody, and welcome back. Well, I've been blogging since 2006. It is 20 years. Yeah, I've been blogging for 20 years, and maybe a year or so after I started, somewhere around 2007, I started intermittently typecasting, typewriter blogging, typing up a sheet on a typewriter, scanning or taking a photograph of it, posting it on the blog. And oftentimes I would have one or two pages typewritten, and then sometimes I would have digitally written text below it in my blog and with other photographs oftentimes. I got to thinking the other day that I used to use my Alphasmart Neo a lot for writing blog articles, and what it was fun to do was the Alphasmart was a text editor. It wasn't a full-blown word processor. I have the BYOK these days I've been using, and the other day I was typing up or writing up a blog article on the BYOK device, and then I transferred it to my Mac, imported the text into my blog, and I realized, oh, here's something I used to do that I forgot, and you can do. You can do markup language in your text file. And so that's what I want to talk about today is if you're writing a blog or you're doing online content where you have to combine text with markup language for like having italicized font, italicized or bolded or underlined text or whatever, you can embed that in your text file. And it makes it very convenient if you're writing on a text editor offline. Later on, you import it into your web page and it's there. It immediately works. So let's talk about doing markup language on a text editor today. Stay tuned. Well, I think to start with, I want to talk about how I write a blog article. I'm using Blogger. Blogger.com is a free blogging platform, and I'm using the HTML template within Blogger. So in order to do like paragraph breaks between blocks of text, you have to insert code at the end of the line and in the space between paragraphs. If you want to do like bolding, underscoring, italics, you have to insert little codes on either side of the text with angle brackets in order to effect that change. And then if you want to insert photos, there's an insert photo function. It puts a block of code where the photo is, and then there's ways to manipulate that to change the size of it or whatever. So that's the reason why markup language becomes real handy. And when you're writing a blog article with a text editor, like one of these, for instance, being able to put that code in the text as you're writing it, it gets real handy. Let's go into Blogger now and look at how I start writing a blog article. Okay, so I am in Blogger and I'm going to do a new post. And I just wanted to show you, let's do a line of text. And then I'm going to do a paragraph break. This is another line of text. So you can see right here, I've written a line, I put a space between, I've written another line. And if you go to preview on the upper right corner, the two lines of text are not separated by a paragraph break. Because in this Blogger template, you have to put code to tell it the line break. And the line break is a set of angle brackets with a BR between them. So now I put these angle brackets here. I go to the preview mode. If I refresh it, now you can see the two lines are separated by a space. And yes, I know I have to correct that misspelling. So now let's do something else. Let's make the word line to be bold. So we put angle bracket B, that starts the bolding, and then you want to turn off the bolding with an angle bracket /B, this word line in here will be bolded. So now we go back to our preview and refresh it. Now I have bolding turned on. And then I can do, let's say, italics on the word another. /I to turn it off. Let's refresh. Now the word another is italicized. And then I can also do something like, let's say, I want to underline this line of text right? Put the code for underlining, refresh, and now I have the word line is bold, the word another is italicized, and the phrase line of text is underlined. Those are the kind of things that you can do with the code as you're writing it in Blogger. You can control the text that way, make it look a different way. So now that you've seen a little bit of how you can write a blog article in Blogger using the HTML window, let's go into a text editor program. We could use the Alphasmart Neo, we could use the little BYOK device. Let's see how we can insert markup language directly into the text that you're writing so that when you import it into Blogger, it's already formatted for the way you want it to look like when it's posted. Well, here is a blog article that I was working on in the BYOK. This is a text editor. So this is the top of the article. There's some things I want to change here. First of all, this little film-like part here, I'd like to make that italicized. So I'm going to just put the angle brackets, put the italics on that end, and then close the italics on that end. So this code here will create film-like, now will be italicized. Okay, so let's go page down. So now I'm going to put a line break at the end of each paragraph. This is necessary for Blogger to work. Every time you want to do a carriage return or a break, you have to put it at the end of the line. If you want to put a space between paragraphs, you have to put another one there. And okay, we'll go back up. We'll go end of line again. So I'm just going to be putting HTML code to make this work in my blog. And then here's another example where I could probably, let's put some code. Let's just make this bolded. The word Kodak Charmera. Turn off the bolding there. So now Kodak Charmera will be bolded. And I'm going to continue doing this, adding code to this article so that I can import it into Blogger and it will be compatible. It'll have all the right breaks that I need, etc., etc. Okay, so I've taken that file that I was working on in the BYOK. I've transferred it to the computer in disk mode, and this is the text file itself. I'm going to do edit, select all, edit, copy. So I've copied the entire file. Now I'm going to go back to my Blogger, and I'm going to just delete this practice code, and I'm going to go and paste the entire text of what I've written so far into the template. And I'm going to put a little line break at the top here just for the title. So now if we go to the preview mode, this is now what it looks like. I have sentences, I have paragraph breaks, I have the italics that I put in, I have the bolding text I put in. So here you can see another italics text right here. So this is all done because of the markup language, these symbols here that I've added that makes it look this way as a finished web page. So another thing I was going to do is let's insert an HTML link. So let's go to a web page. This is the BYOK web page. I'm going to copy the URL, and let's say at the very bottom of this article, let's say written with the BYOK. Now let's insert a hyperlink for the word BYOK. So I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to go up here and click on this little chain link symbol. I'm going to paste in the URL, and I'm going to click this feature to open the web page in another window. Hit OK. And it's going to add this code right here, this ahref. And then if you now go to our preview and refresh, you'll see at the very bottom now the word BYOK is a hyperlink. You can click on it and go to that web page. So that's how you can insert hyperlinks in your text at any time on Blogger, is just to highlight the text and use the insert link. Or if you like writing the code itself, you know, this angle bracket A space href equals, and then you have the web page in quote marks, and then the target is the text that you're using. So that's how you can insert hyperlinks using markup language in your Blogger article. And you can add all of this markup language in your text editor as you're writing it. So the next thing I want to show you how to do in Blogger is how to insert a photograph from your computer. So I'm going to put the photograph at the very top of the article. I'm going to put a line break between the bottom of the photo and the text. So this top line, I'm going to insert a photo. Basically, wherever my cursor is, that's where the photo is going to be inserted. I'm going to click on this little link, this mountain link, insert image. I'm going to go upload from computer. I'm going to click on the file, hit upload, and then it's going to ask me what size and layout. I'm going to set original size, no alignment. And so now this entire paragraph of code is that photo. However, if you look over here, it is 3024 pixels wide and 3024 pixels high. It's way too big. So I usually edit the code for my images. First of all, this top part between the two angle brackets says div class separator and all that. I get rid of that. I don't need it. And then down here, the accompanying code that closes that out, I change it to a line break. And then you don't really need all this style stuff. So I get rid of everything from style up to this final quote mark. And then I clean up the original. I get rid of borders. I don't need any borders in it. And all I'm leaving in place here is height and width of the image. And now I'm going to change this because my template for Blogger, I like my images to be 650 pixels wide. This is a square format image, so it's easy to do. So there that is. And now if I go to my preview editor and refresh, there is the picture that I've put on to the top of the article right here. You can see I have the makings of an actual article here. It already looks pretty much like it's going to when I publish it. I'm going to probably go ahead and stick some more photos in here as I talk about the subject matter. And that's it. So this is how using markup code in your text editor can make it a lot more convenient. As you're writing the copy for your article, you can be inserting these paragraph and line breaks. You can insert code to make text bolded or italicized or underlined. And it makes it a lot more convenient to do it while you're writing it rather than having to go through in the actual Blogger template and do it afterwards. So blogging has been around for decades, but I still think it's a great way to communicate to other people via social media because it is a more in-depth way to express your ideas. It's like having your own private or your own personal magazine or your own short little program that you can share to the world with text, with photos, embedded videos. I really think it's a valuable source of communicating ideas because it gives you the ability to do long form articles if you want, rather than short little snippets like on modern social media platforms. And my Blogger page goes all the way back to 2006. If you look at on the right side of my blog down, there's a column all the way down there, all the articles by month going all the way back to 2006, 20 years of articles. So if you're a prolific blogger, if you've been doing it for a long time, drop a note down below and let's talk about it. And also, if you're into things like typewriters and you want to start a blog, there's a number of free blogging platforms. Blogger is just one of them. And you should go to the Typosphere website and sign up and get your blog registered as a typewriter blog, and then you'll be listed in the blog roll of other typewriter bloggers, which is a real handy thing to refer to. I look at it almost every day, looking for updates from typewriter bloggers, what they have to say, new articles or whatever. But if you're interested in writing with these dedicated text editor-like platforms and you want to have a blog, but you want to be able to control the way it looks, being able to control the text, bolding, underscore, italics, and paragraph breaks and all that, it's a real handy thing to do embedded markup language in the text. And I hope this was valuable to you. Let's talk about it down below. And as always, stay creative and have yourselves a great day. And bye-bye for now.